Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review the new documentary, Bring Your Own Brigade. And this is from Paramount, from director Lucy Walker, who has previously done films like Blind Sight, Wasteland, and this film focuses on humanity and its fight against wildfires. And what's interesting is, I remember watching that Paradise documentary done by Ron Howard, that paints a very different kind of picture than this. And being able to see that documentary and seeing this documentary and how they go with different approaches is really interesting. Because this film is not necessarily about hope and that human connection, despite the fact that this takes an interesting route in terms of the first, 35, 40 minutes of this film is like a deep-seated connecting with these people on a human level. Their experiences, their fears. You see all the footage of these horrible wildfires in California. You see the firefighters looking up dead bodies and just scorched corpses. And luckily, they decide to not actually show those things. There's some finesse. There is some discreetness that is helpful. And this film captures that very well and shows just enough what you need to see. And Walker does a fine job of painting this picture. And then things shift. And it's very interesting that they spent all this emotional ties at the beginning, because generally you start broader and then narrow it to really hit those emotional beats. I don't know if it fully works in this way in this film, because it's a tough transition now to questioning those same people about their thoughts on climate change. And really, some of the scenes in this film that focus on like town hall meetings felt like right out of Parks and Rec, that people were so oblivious to certain things and so belligerent about being asked to do something that it's unfortunately felt like I was watching Parks and Rec, which usually has a punchline. This is life. And it's really sad that it has that vibe to it. Also a sentiment to how great Parks and Rec was. But in terms of this film, things shift. You start questioning these people in these towns who refuse, like they have a whole town hall meeting trying to pass a resolution to help improve the quality of homes that they're rebuilding in this place to avoid more of this. And they're so ignorant or so hard-headed and stubborn, and they're just like, no, you can't tell me what to do. And that it gets that broader idea of politics and how politics have permeated every single aspect of our lives. And some people just live that politics game. And here you see that. You see that it's like, no, our freedoms, you can't tell us what to do, but not thinking about the effects that this has on others. But is that important to some of these people that do feel this way? You do spend time with some of these people and really get a heartfelt connection with them. This is a 2-hour documentary. There's a lot to pack in here. And there's definitely times where it loses some of its energy, loses some of its focus, and doesn't deliver exactly how they would probably want it to. There's one particular interview that I don't think went people's ways. And obviously the town hall didn't go how they were hoping either. But this really captures the history of wildfires. A lot of finding out these things about these corporations, that the way that they're dealing with things might be causing this. So there's those human villains that are put into this film in this documentary, and really trying to help people process, when is it time to go back to normal? And being able to figure that out and navigate these landmines of politics. But this film, focusing on these wildfires, really gives you perspective on the people that are doing everything that they can to make this work. And that's very admirable and wonderful, and special shout out to some of those people in this film that really are trying to bring a light to the science to the reasons why these wildfires are becoming out of control, and that there's still abilities to do things, but it captures the spirit of humanity so well that it doesn't want to help itself when somebody's asking it to, because you don't tell them what to do. And that's how we got here. And it's an interesting ride, even if some of the tonal issues don't work perfectly fine, and by the time they get to this climax, it's less of a focus on some of the people there and really about trying to broaden their horizons. But you start with that more emotional human aspect of this film and you end there. And it does leave some hope. And here's to hoping that things can turn around. But I think this documentary does a really fine job of painting that picture and also nailing that human element of all of this. But those are my thoughts on this new documentary, Bring Your Own Brigade. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.